Hey, fun friends. It's your fun sister Holly here, and we're going to have a sisterly chat tonight. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these, and I wanted to talk tonight about broken hearts. And a broken heart can come from a lot of things. A broken heart can come from the loss of someone's life. A broken heart can come from a missed opportunity at work even. But tonight we're going to talk about a broken heart due to betrayal. And that as well does not have to be from a lover. It can be a betrayal from just somebody that you love, right? And so let's narrow it down a little bit more. Let's talk more about a broken heart from a lover or from someone you wanted to be your lover. And let's go that direction, I think, because it's such a broad subject. It could be, I could talk for hours about this. There's very few people who can say that they never had a broken heart. My husband is one of them. He claims he's never had a broken heart, which is just wild to me. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if he's suppressed it into something else. Some people do that. Some people are really good at suppressing their feelings. But I think most of us have suffered a broken heart due to a love lost in a romantic sense. And a lot of times, and I've been guilty of this too myself, a lot of times when we go through a breakup with someone, or maybe we just liked someone really well and they just never returned the same feelings for us. Sometimes those people might use you for a while, or sometimes they might just think they're having fun and you want to get serious too quickly. There's a lot of reasons that a relationship comes to an end. It can be due to youth. It can be due to personal demons. It can just be simply they're just not ready, or you're not the right one. But whenever I've had a broken heart from somebody that I was nuts about, or was somebody that I loved and I felt betrayed from, and it's happened to me a few times. Those times, until I got older, I didn't handle them very well. And when I say that, I didn't handle them in a way that protected my own dignity, in a way that protected, that preserved my self-esteem. I tended, a lot of times people, when someone says I want space, or when somebody says, we should see other people, or you had this tendency to want to hold on tighter. I think if I just hold on tighter, if I just show them more love, if I just do something differently, if I do something better or wrong, it's always about what am I doing wrong? We tend to a lot of times not think about what are they doing wrong, or why is the problem me? Why isn't it them? Because it takes two people to have a relationship, but so often we internalize it as if we're the failure. A lot of times it's because maybe your narcissistic partner told you that you were the problem. And I know I've had that happen too. But what tends to really put the nail in the coffin on these relationships is when someone has neediness. When someone says they want space and you push harder, you're just pushing them away. When someone is chasing after someone else in your relationship and then you chase after them, all of that makes you, the person, look like you're more desperate. Some people say, oh, well, they wanted me to fight for them. Not most of the time. I guess maybe you'll get some people who are maybe a little bit manipulative or immature and they want that extra attention. So they think they want you to fight for them, but those people really are trying to hold on to you. They're not really trying to push you away. The ones who say, I want space, who really want space, that's what they want. They want space. And when you give it to them, a lot of times they're like, whoa, what's happened here? Why are they giving me space? Is there somebody else? What's happening? And I've actually had people, let me back up. When I was younger, I never gave space. When I was younger, I just wanted to hold on tighter. I just thought, again, if I could just be better or do more, they're going to love me. It never works. Never does it happen. And you end up with a broken heart, and you end up feeling embarrassed, and you end up feeling less worthy. But as I got older, as I developed more confidence, and read a few books about relationships, I discovered that when you let go, when you go, okay, here's your space. I had my ex-husband before, that I found out in a really embarrassing way through my job that he was messing around with some girl at his office, and somebody who knew somebody who worked there came to me and told me. And some people said that was the wrong thing for them to do and that it was none of their business, but honestly, I'm glad they did, because he was making a fool of me. And it was a small town and a lot of people knew what was going on. So that was like the first time that I ever sat down and figured out, I thought I wanted this person back. And more than anything, I didn't want her to have him. So I read a couple of books, and one of them taught me that when you let go, even when you push away, they tend to come back to you like a magnet. Initially, he got angry at me. Initially, he was like, what kind of games are you playing? He moved out. He moved in with a friend. And I packed all his stuff up and put it on their doorstep. I packed every bit of his crap up and put it on the doorstep. He was pissed. He was so mad at me. And I'm going, you left me. You left me. Why? I mean, this guy, and some of this will resonate with you guys. You've been ever broken up with somebody and then they want favors from you? He wanted me to give him lifts from work. Sometimes he wanted me to go pick him up beer once. Can you imagine that? You've left your wife. You've moved in with somebody else, and you want me to go pick you up some beer. It was just absurd, and I did not. I think that was if I remember correctly, that was the point where I just packed all his crap up and I just dumped it. And oddly enough, I still thought I wanted this person back. I thought, okay, I've done everything else. I'll just try this, So when I pulled back, he pulled toward me, just like the book said that they would. And it was hard. It was hard to let go. It was hard to pretend like, I wasn't mean to him. I just wasn't doing things for him like I used to do. I just said, you made your choice. We're no longer in that relationship, and you have to fend for yourself, because he was so accustomed to me doing so much for him. So long story short, I know, too late for that, but long story short, believe me, it was longer. We did end up getting back together. And funny enough, once we got back together, once I made sure that he had irrevocably burned bridges with the girl at work, I sent him packing. I bought a one-way ticket at Christmas time, sent him home to his mother, and I never saw him again. I mean, I talked to him a few times. Then I started wanting space. Then I started wanting to have, I started giving him the same stuff he gave to me, and it wasn't intentional. That wasn't what the plan was. The plan was to get him back, to get back at the girl, and to, and get my happy home back. But once I realized that I didn't need him anymore, once I got him back, I'd lost some respect for him, and I'd lost trust for him more than anything. And at that point, I realized, I don't really want this person in my life. This isn't what I want. And and we kind of said our goodbyes. And, at that point, I realized in every relationship I had after that, I learned how to handle these situations. Even now, I've mentioned it in videos before, even now, people don't, like in my marriage with Peter and I have been married for a long time. We've been married, we've been together since 97. We've been married since 2000. And in all that time, we've had our ups, we've had our downs. We have a good marriage. We have a very happy marriage. But there's times that, he wants to be in his own place. He wants to be away from me, my family, my whoever. He just wants to kind of go into himself. And I let him. I've learned to not try to fight that. And what I have found is if I push too much, like, oh, what's wrong? Or talk to me, or what's this, any of this stuff, oh, he hates it. And he just pulls back more. So I've learned that when I give him that space, then it works the same way. He starts wondering, I don't even know if it's conscious. I don't know if he's wondering. Let me rephrase that. I don't know that he's wondering. I think it's a subconscious thing. And just because, I've given him that space that he asked for, or indicated that he wanted by his mood, by his demeanor. So, and that pulls him back toward me. And then all of a sudden he's back to my loving, sweet husband again. I've learned that over the years to do that. And I'll tell you what, it's made a huge difference in my life. So I guess where I'm going with this, when we're talking about these broken hearts, is that your heart is important and your self-esteem is important. And if someone is hurting you, whether it's intentionally, whether they're wrong, whether they're right, whatever it is, whatever's causing your heart to break, you deserve the right to make that right for yourself. You deserve to take the time to work on you, to not make it be about you. I mean, frequently in these cases, there is a shared responsibility. Relationships don't just go sour for no reason. You have to have some culpability. Everybody does from both sides. Just some people are kinder about it than others. Some people are jerks, and some people are selfish, and they don't think of their partner, and they don't think of the children, and they don't think of the people that they hurt because they're selfish. And or self-centered, if that's what you want to say. Maybe it's the same thing. But when you come out of a relationship, when you come out of that broken heart, and that's not to dilute what you're feeling, because again, God, I've been there. Oh, I've so been there. But when you walk away with your head held just a little bit higher, and you don't let them know that they've hurt you. Some people get off on that. Some people like that feeling to know they hurt someone. Some people like the feeling to feel like they can never be replaced in your life. But you don't ever show that. If you don't show that and you just move forward with your life, that doesn't mean you run around flaunting pictures of yourself with some other girl, guy, whatever the pronoun is. It means you just carry on. It means that you don't look like you're trying to make them jealous, or look like you're trying to make them feel a certain thing. That's what gets to people the most, and that's what will resolve your dignity or your self-esteem issues. That's what's going to give you a little bit of pride back. And when you know your self-worth, when you know what you bring to the table, whether this person was right for you or wrong for you, that's okay. Sometimes that stuff happens. But we're not right for everybody, obviously. That's why we have a partner most of the time. That's why most relationships are monogamous. But you don't, when you know what your self-value is and you know your self-worth is, you'll find a person who appreciates that in you. You'll find a person who respects that in you and who doesn't want to hurt you and who isn't going to be selfish. But you have to remember that everybody has to bring something to the party. And that means you too. That means that you have to look introspectively a little bit. Not that doesn't mean blame yourself. It just means look and see, am I clinging too tightly? Am I choking people? Am I being too accusational? Am I paranoid from previous hurts? You can't mend your broken heart, and you can't have a full heart until you learn to let go of the past. And I think that I have a theory about things, that when I believe that it takes approximately half the time that you've been with someone to really get over them. And that may be true and it may not be true, but that's kind of my personal experience, I guess, to be completely over them. And when I say over, that doesn't mean you want to be with them, but it means over the hurt that they caused you. So when I say that, I think that anybody who says, oh, I hate this person, or I don't want anything to do, and they just have really, really, really bad feelings toward them, that's because they're still feeling betrayed. They're still feeling a certain something from the love that they used to feel for that person. It's not to say that they want to be with them, but it just means that, you can't hurt me if I don't care about you anymore. And when you stop caring about that other person, you'll stop caring about what they did to you, and you just move on, and you have to make your life from there and move on. So I hope that helps someone out there, and feel free to share your opinions. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe you've experienced it a different way. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So I'm Holly. I'm your fun sister. Please like, subscribe, and share.